Hello and welcome to the user guide for event-driven cloud computing. I am Cory McAn, the sole developer, tester, and documentation creator, and my mentor is Jason Detbarn of Adigy. In this guide, I will provide you with everything you need to know to get started with using this software. Let's start by navigating to this link. By now, you should have your login information for Amazon Web Services. Make sure the account is set to Adigy and log in. Now you'll arrive at the Amazon Web Services homepage. Let me draw your attention to these two services, Lambda and S3. Let's start with Lambda, which is a service that runs Node.js code in response to events. You should have the repository downloaded now, so you can create a new Lambda function. You just need to fill in the values here, and you are given an option to either paste code or upload a zip file. All of the later versions of the Lambda functions use the PubNub API, and so must be uploaded as a zip file zipped with the API. Let's try uploading the completed run multiple tester lambda.zip so we can test it later. The advanced settings here can be modified, which will affect how the code performs. Use with caution. Now we just need to create the function, and it will show up in the Lambda function list. Next, let's configure the function to a bucket. Click the Actions dropdown. Now click Edit or Test if you would like to edit or test the Lambda function. Now we want to configure an S3 bucket to use the Lambda function we've created, so let's click Add Event Source. The event source type should be S3, and now you can use the drop-down menu to select the bucket you want the Lambda function to run in. The event type is also important. Most of my code was tested using the put event type, which triggers the Lambda function whenever a new file is put into the bucket. Now we can submit our changes, and the function will be triggered on the bucket we set. Now that S3 and Lambda are completely configured, you need to obtain some software to test the functions as intended. Please download and install the following software to prepare for development and testing of the code. Once you have those installed, we can configure the IDE for Node.js and S3 support. Open up the IDE and navigate to File, Settings. First, let's open the Languages and Frameworks tab and click Node.js to install the Node.js interpreter. Once that's installed, we can click Plugins, search S3, and install the AWS Manager. You can access the Manager settings and log in under Other Settings AWS. Now that everything is installed, you can edit the Node.js code and test it from the IDE. Now that we have CyberDuck, let's configure it for AWS S3 uploads so we can test the demo page. Click the Open Connection button and select S3 from the drop-down menu. Just put your AWS Access Key ID and Secret Access Key to get access to your bucket list. Before we upload the files, let's open the dedicated console for the demo so we can see the messages. Check the code folder for the test data folder, which contains the 2 batches of test files for the demo. In CyberDuck, choose the bucket you configured your Lambda function for and select Upload. Choose either of the test folders, select all of the files, and upload them. Now just check the demo page and you should see all the alerts for those audits flowing in. Thank you for watching the user guide for event-driven cloud computing. Please check out the other videos in this series to learn more.